Welcome to Harness the Shift. I'm Jay, your host. This is a space for embodied healing, nervous system coherence, and spiritual remembrance, guiding you back home to yourself. So get rooted in the light, knowing we're all aligned by design. Welcome to Harness the Shift. I'm Jay, I'm your host, and today we're opening space for a conversation that is rooted in intuition, embodiment, and spiritual truth. We're just going to flow today, and we're going to let the spirit take us. I am so honored to be joined by Linda Willow Roberts, joining us from Queensland, Australia. Linda is an international speaker, certified medium, spiritual teacher, intuitive guide, energy practitioner, and author, just to name a few of her accomplishments. But beyond the title, she's someone who helps people come back to themselves, to their own inner wisdom, their own healing, and their own alignment. Her work creates a space where the nervous system softens, clarity rises, and remembrance happens naturally. So take a deep breath, folks, settle into your body, and join us as we welcome Linda Willow Roberts. Hello, you beautiful souls. I am so excited.
So am I, and thank you for having me. And
thank you
on the podcast as well.
Thank you for coming on. My goodness, I'm so excited to have you on. It's going to be nice to just let the spirit move us.
It is, but what a perfect time. We're 100% full moon in Leo, and I'm a Leo rising. Woo!
I love it. So, Linda, how about give a little synopsis of what that is, because maybe some of the listeners don't know exactly what that is, and you have this amazing background. And so what is that?
So it's a full moon in Leo. Now, when we talk about moons are your moon sign. So you don't just have your Leo, like I'm a Leo sun and a Leo rising, but the moon sign. And the moon is all about your emotional internal world and all of your relationships, really. So we have relationships with everything in our lives. We have money and kids and parents and siblings and work and the community. So when it's in a certain sign, and Leo is a fire sign, so they're passionate, we're ambitious, but we're also, the sun is our ruler and we rule the heart. So not only is it about your moon sign and emotional, Leo is your heart. So it's unconditional love. It's how you have your relationships, the loving relationships, but it can also bring up emotions. Leos are very creative. So when we're looking at a full moon and it's in a particular sign, we look at all the characteristics of that sign and how it affects us and what comes up. So a full moon is a complete cycle. It's the end of toxic relationships. It's the ending of cycles. So it means that, you've graduated when you get to a full moon because you've worked up from the new moon to the full moon. And it's highlighted, it's huge, it's big in the sky. So it highlights and reflects to you what you need to work on or what's coming up for you to shift, basically.
I love that. And so you're a Leo.
Yes.
And I'm an Aquarian.
Oh, I know. And our North Node and South
so wild.
Node, I know. Our North Node and South Node changes, I think it is in June, into Aquarius Leo. So that means that our North Node goes into Aquarius and the South Node goes into Leo this year, and that's later in the year. But that brings up, and that's just before the eclipse in July, I think. So it brings up things for us to work on again. So it's going to be a really good year for us.
Yes, I think so too. I think 25 for a lot of folks was this shedding, right? Like the beginning of it. And it's like, I know 25 was crazy for me, and there was a lot of shedding and a lot of me learning to trust my intuition and to not outsource it.
Yeah.
to anyone, and to really just go with my gut and go with, I'm, human design. So
Yeah.
my authority is sacral. So it's like really understanding that when something hits me there, that I go with it and trust it, and that I don't need to outsource and talk to anyone about it. I already know the answer. And vice versa for everyone, that all of the folks listening, you are your navigator, right?
You're your best GPS. It's
Amen.
the snake year is ending in 2 weeks, so that finishes 15th of February. So if you look at these next 2 weeks, that we're having this full moon, and then in 2 weeks' time we have the new moon in Aquarius. We're having a solar eclipse, and we shift from the snake year to a fire horse. So this next 2 weeks, is the last shift from the snake year. So, the snake needs help. When they're shedding a skin, there needs to be some friction to get that skin off, that last bit of skin off. So this next 2 weeks, there might be some friction on the last little bit that you need to just shed before we move into the fire horse year as well.
So cool. So cool. So Linda, tell us about yourself. How long have you been doing it? Tell me about your journey. What got you here? Like, when did you know? When did you have this inner knowing?
I've always had an inner knowing, never really understood it. So I turned 60 last year. So I was in my second return. So I'm talking 35 years ago, 40 years ago. But I always had that knowing. But my life experiences and the conditioning that I was following really wasn't good. And I had my daughter in my mid-20s, and I just wanted to have better life experiences. And I didn't know where to start, because back then there was no bloody spiritual teachers around. It was just like I was looking and searching for that thing, I suppose, that was greater than me, that could help me move. So I started doing Louise Hay courses. I did 2 10-week courses, and I did them back to back because I wanted to refine it the second time around. I was following Lillian too, which was her feng shui and placement and things like that, and she's just brilliant with that. And then I did Reiki 1 in my mid-20s, so I was looking for that. And so I've just been on this, and I'm a reflector, human design, I'm a reflector. So I've been like bloody walking karma for people, because I reflect it back, or I feel the energy. And so it's so very confusing when you're at a young age and your life experiences are shit, and you just try and grab at things to try and improve your situation. And so that's where I started, was wanting to have better life experiences, which has given, I've done so many modalities since then. So I'm a Reiki master, I'm a certified psychic medium. I studied at Arthur Findlay College under Tony Stockwell in England. I've did my mediumship with Lisa Williams, and I'm a theta practitioner and instructor, human design practitioner. So I've just continually on this learning journey. At the moment, I'm doing 2 courses, just about to be in 3.
Wow.
I just want the knowledge. I want to know how to do things.
Yeah.
When you learn from different teachers, you're outside of the box. You're having so many people's opinions, and really when you let it, your subconscious lets it morph into what it needs to be for you, so that your vibrational frequency is different to your teachers, and then the people that need you resonate with your frequency. So that has been the best part of learning, I think, is learning from different people.
Oh, I can't agree enough. I went through a course with the Numa Institute in Mount Shasta, and the facilitators were here in the Portland area. Wow. Let me tell you, the course that I took, this was like 3 years ago I started, and I finished, I think, last year. It was in the fall of last year, so like a year and a half. So, but learning from different people, it gives you an opportunity to like, okay, I like this, I like that, and morph it into your approach. And I can't agree more with that. I think it's essential because that's what we're here for. We're here to share whatever wisdom that we come into remembrance with, right? And the listeners can take whatever it is that they resonate, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. There's just so much. There's so much to learn, and there's so much out there, and it's like you just have to be hungry and be a sponge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know, and the thing that you need to do when you're doing new courses, even like I've got a course available on my website that's called the Manifestation Flowchart course. And people know about manifesting, but you need to start doing any course with a beginner's mindset. Otherwise, you just miss stuff. You actually need, and I think being a reflector, that really helps because I have no defined symbols. There's nothing defined. So I just absorb it all and just take what I need to take in.
You know, I am a generator, and I tend, I mean, I'm an Aquarian, obviously, too, but I tend to be in my head, you know? So this journey of like peeling everything back and knowing when I do go into my head, it's like, you know what? You know, nipping away at those like self-limiting beliefs, right? Even like with this podcast, like I'm not good enough. Who's going to want to hear me? These are the voices sometimes that, you know, the ego is that little devil on the shoulder, right? Like that doesn't go away. You just have a better way of taming it and saying, put it in its place. Like, excuse me, no, I am good enough. And it's like when you start to dive in and you learn to love yourself and really understand who that is at the core of your being. Oh my God. It's like everything starts to flow and everything just comes into coherence. And it's like falling together with this podcast. Like the second season is just, I'm so grateful. I truly am. The outpouring of interest to be on is like, wow. I'm like, this is awesome. So thank you so much for coming on. I love it. It's such an interesting time to be alive, isn't it?
Well, the planets are in alignment and it's shifting into like 0 degrees where we're starting. It's number 1 year is way more than just numerology with a 1 year. It's the planets. We've never been alive with what's happening in our solar system.
Right. It's such a great time.
Yeah. And being open to it.
Right. And with that, and knowing that it is such a great time, I mean, sure, everybody's going through their stuff, but at the end of the day, being grateful, it's like, okay, I'm here another day. What are we going to do? Let's go. But man, it's like, wake up. It's going to be such an amazing time. Like just, I envision it to be so much, I don't know, so many people like stepping in and really learning to love themselves. And then when you learn to love yourself, you can love others.
Yeah. That is so true.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And
it's so true.
Yeah. And when you get to a point of when your mind starts to think and go into that self-doubt thing, you just switch it to I'm at service.
Change the channel.
Yeah, just switch it. That's why I'm showing up. I'm being accessible to bring information to whoever needs it.
Right. At whatever time, right? Yeah. And that's what it is. And it's kind of this like spiritual warfare, right? Because if you listen to it, you're not going to do what really your purpose is supposed to be doing, right? What you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
Not doing, but sharing, whatever it may be. And so I don't know. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to like just facilitate this and bring people and talk about things. I mean, I know like a sliver of everything that you just said. And it's like, bring people on that's their jam. Share this with us. Would you like a little jam on your bread? Like share it with us. And oh man, maybe I should have called the podcast Let's Break Bread, right? And give me your jam and let's, but there's just no two people are the same. No two people have the same wisdom.
No.
They may know about things, but there are things this week and last week that I'm just like, wow, right? It's an amazing time. I guess I'm just going into this whole thing about it's just an amazing time with the alignment and a lot of firsts in history.
Wow, but it's exciting, and I've got another jam thing I say, but it's a little bit different than spreading jam. I often say in workshops, have you finished trying to turn shit into strawberry jam?
Right.
I think that's where we get to.
I love that because, sometimes you just got to start a whole new batch, right? Yeah.
And this is what we do with all of this happening this year. It's going to allow us to do that. And if you allow it and you're in the acceptance phase, then it's smoother than, because change is only difficult when we resist it.
Yes.
And so however we show up and however we find the ease in the changes is whether we're spreading the jam on the bread or we're trying to turn shit into strawberry jam.
And I have to admit, okay, I'm going to be accountable because I'm all about that. I have tried to turn shit into strawberry jam.
Me too.
Yeah. And the whole thing that you were just saying, like when you're just not in the flow, right? Resisting. You're resisting, or you're fighting against the current and you're not with the current. It's like, and that creates suffering. Yeah. And a lot of times we can create our own suffering. And I've done that plenty of times in this journey, just stepping on and into alignment. I have even gone through that. So it's like, hey, I'm here. Just like anybody else going through this. It sometimes can be a complete shit show. So and it's like, but hey, we're here, right? We're here. We're showing up. We're telling folks they're not alone. Like we've been there. Like, yep, it's okay. Like it's not a competition. This whole thing is so not a competition. It's, I want to be able to honor you, Linda, for the wisdom you have, and maybe Joe down the street or whatever. It's such a great time. It really is. Not saying that this work is easy. Okay, it's not easy, and being and staying on the narrow path is not easy, but it's worth it, right? At the end. So. Yeah.
It feels that void that we have inside, like all of the modalities and everything that I've done. I've been married twice. My first marriage was very volatile and domestic violence. And so you have to dig yourself out of that, and it's when you're trying to control outcomes because you can see potential, you've got to come back to the tangible and the reality of it. And you shift through that. The thing I have learnt since I did have done theta, and I'm probably certified in about 16 different certifications with that, and that's helped me release a lot. But I've realised that this learning process that we're on, we're a learning planet, we're here to learn our lessons, is a gift. It really is, because it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. We can go through the shifts and the changes, and it can be easy. So a lot of the time I remove myself from the mass consciousness of the belief that, to change or to move into the next level of life that it has to be hard, and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy, and I think that that's something that I'd really like your listeners to, to express to them, that their life changes can be easy, and all they need to do is let go of control and allow it to flow.
Yeah, that's a hard piece. I know for me, that has been a really hard piece of the control. And I have, tell you, over the last I'd say 2.5, 3 months, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. You tell me what you want me to do, God, because I'm done. I mean, literally. And then it was like, I wake up in the morning, it's like, get podcast guests. And I'm like, what? Okay. I guess I'll do that. I asked him to do, so that's what I'm doing. And it's like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And it's in the flow. And it's like,
yeah.
Wow. Right?
It's really cool when it happens. Like
it's cool.
When you surrender and then the things start showing up, you just go like, oh my, I've got to be like that more often. Trying to stay in that place, and your mind goes into, I've got to stay in that vibration. Yeah. But it's all about surrendering and allowing and having that trust 100%. Good on you. I love it when the signs and the synchronicities show up.
I hear you. And I love it when it's like, it's wild. I'll tell you this. So a couple weeks ago, probably it'll be about 3 weeks ago, I was staying in a hotel room, right? I look directly across is room 333. And I'm like, and this was after I said, I'm done, F it, that kind of thing. And it's like, what? So the synchronicities are definitely there if you are remaining in the present, and you're just, pay attention. Even like the birds in the sky, all the time I'm seeing hawks. I see eagles every now and again. And it's something to really to think about, it's something to really take in, because it's certain times that things like that happen, and those synchronicities, and it's like the spirit's really, that's how the spirit communicates with us.
Yeah.
And it's pretty wild though. It's like, what? This is pretty cool. I'm like, okay. All right. So I'm just, all I have to do is testify that surrender, although it is not easy, when you do it, shit starts to happen, folks.
It does like that
every time.
I went to go down to the beach the other day, and I was sort of thinking about what's coming, and I was up in the head. Anyway, I parked somewhere that I don't normally park, and I got out of the car and I went to go to the steps to go down to where the beach is, and the birds were going off. And I get messages from kookaburras and crows, and always have done, even since I was little. And so I went right, because I could hear the bird commotion in the tree, and the tree where they were making a noise was sort of probably my head height. So it wasn't like I was like this looking for the birds. And I looked and I went, it was in the middle of the day, and I thought, is that an owl? And it was this owl there with magpies harassing the crap out of him, and a couple of crows. And I went, I'll behave. And they all just moved away from this owl. And it was funny. And I went, you can't do that to an owl, And I'm having this conversation, and I look around and hear some people going down the path. And I said, oh, it's an owl. And they put their head down, and I thought, they probably think he's a nutter. But anyway, and it was in the middle of the day, and I took a video of it, and it just was like, and I went, oh, thank you. Because the last time I seen an owl is I was in a taxi at 5:00 in the morning, and I was going to the airport to go to Egypt, and we just got picked up, went along the road, and here was this owl, like about 2 foot tall, on the sidewalk.
Wow.
Path. And that's sort of like the last time that I've seen an owl in the daylight. And that that Egypt trip was like very transformational. But, when you see things like that, you see the magic in the ordinary. And when you get to the point of being so present, you feel the butterfly before you see it. I can be sitting inside and feel a rainbow, and I'm out there with my phone taking a photo. And I think, how lucky are we to get to see that and know that if you're present, you'll get those nudges to go for it and trust it. It's really cool.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think people realize that, this, like, there are a lot of distractions in this world. And so it's like, you really have to, it's this balance of, I'm not going to deal with that noise. I'm going to just be in the present. And when you are, it's like, whoa, you see these beautiful things. Like, I can't tell you, like, I've been across the country about 5 times in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
From Florida, in between, all over, like, and I live in Oregon. And just some of the things that I've seen on the road, had I not, like, listened to my intuition and took that route, I wouldn't have seen X, Y, Z, right? Like, it's so to be able to be that present where you're like, oh, wow, like, if I hadn't have taken that turn, I wouldn't have seen this. Or if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen that, or I wouldn't have experienced this, or whatever it may be. It's the God is always orchestrating. Always.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are, we've been so separated. I was on a podcast earlier, we were talking about how we've been kind of separated and by ourselves, and kind of like, hey, this is it, like, step into your healing. And a lot of folks have stepped in, and it's maybe we didn't like the fact that that was the case, but we did it anyway. And just, it's wild when you start to see now the spirit of God is making moves and positioning people and getting people like, let's go. It's time to step out here. It's not, we're not going to be in that where we're doing the work so much. Now we got to share what we've learned. And I'm sure there'll be a time down the road where we'll go and learn, and always do that, right? Because that's just part of the journey. And I love to learn things. So when I come across, new things, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And it's every day. Every day I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that even existed. And now it's in my orbit. And it's like, things just come to you. It's pretty wild. And I will say, like, the gatekeeping that was going on in this earthly realm is no longer. Like, if you're in that vibe, if you're in that frequency, you're going to get the information that you need in order to, set you up, or whatever it may be, or the people that specialize in that area. And it's like, it's wild. It's like, all of a sudden, it's amazing. It's just such an amazing, I don't know how else to say it. It's just like, wow, what's going to happen today? Like,
it's the evolution and the transparency that's come in, but in all walks of life.
Yes.
And it really is, whoever your thoughts go up to, your prayers or whatever, but I really think we're in a time now, like, I call it God creator, but I don't.
Right.
But there's no judgment, but I really feel like it's now time for us to step up, the spiritual ones, to talk about, there is something greater there. There is somebody that you can rely on that's got your back. And the more transparent and authentic you are, the more people you get to speak to, that you get that hear you. And I really think that it's the integrity and the authenticity that's actually is what the creator, source, the universe is bringing forward. So when you're in your authentic self, then the door's open. because you are of service. You can't be, there's not two of me, there's only me. And so whoever, and there's only one of you. And so whoever needs to hear you shows up because you are transparent, you're authentic, and you've got that integrity. And I think that that's the platform, how we're getting pushed out now. I think that we're actually being, and I'm going to use the word soldier, but I don't like, if there was another word, I would say. But I think that we are
spiritual gangster. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're being spiritual gangsters because we need to get the world into ending that separateness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because it's like, and the separateness and outsourcing your own knowing, there's things that you can do in order to, clear all of that out, obviously, but you have your own inner knowing that no one can replicate. It's your own inner guidance system. It's pretty fascinating. The things that I've learned, even more so, my undergrads in neuroscience, and I was on that path with my master's and doing the transpersonal psychology with Numa Institute and Mount Shasta. It's like you just start to learn, and you're like, everything just starts to come into center, and you're like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Why, the corruption, I mean, really at the heart of it, because God forbid, and everybody should know who they are.
Yeah.
We might be able to actually change the world.
I think that we're going to, and I think
we already are.
Changing those neuro pathways, and I love Joe Dispenza. I just love
me too.
Science behind it all, everything that is proving that we've all known for like 30 years.
Everything.
It's coming out. So we know that we can change. We know that a mass amount of people can actually meditate together and make a difference in people's lives. And that's just, it's just beautiful. It really is. I went to, this is a bit controversial, I went to see John of God in Sydney once, and he's now in jail and being jailed for like 99 years for a lot of bad stuff. But I didn't know that, and this is a few years ago. And but so he facilitates healing for people that have illnesses. And so you go along and you sit, so 3,000 people sit and meditate for him. He was bringing in the entities to heal people. And I just absolutely loved that fact, and that could happen. I actually flew to Brazil, to Abadiânia, to help, is what I thought. And I didn't see anything wrong there. I have to admit that I went and I wasn't, didn't see or feel anything bad at the time. And he has like he only did it 3 days a week, but he'd have 5,000 people coming there to get healed. And he would ask you to sit in meditation. You'd take turns on what days that you would go through the line.
Right, yeah.
Healed. And we would sit in meditation so that we could help him bring in the entities to heal. And I just couldn't believe, and I loved that feeling of being one energy elevating to heal a person. And that was just, and I did have, and when you was talking about the numbers and that showing up, there was one night there that I was really, stuff was coming up for me, and I was having a teary, and I was at the Posada, and I climbed out the window and sat on what was supposed to be a veranda, but it was just concrete and there was wires hanging out of it. And I sat out there on my own and I was in tears. Now, on my logo here, you can see a 7 and an 8. It's sort of like
it looks like an infinity, but I see the 7 and the 8.
Yeah, so that's my birthday, so my soul blueprint, and that numbers have shown up for me all of my life. And the sun, Leo's sun and rising's there with the 2 suns. But I went and sat out on this balcony, and I was sort of, tears are streaming down my face, and I was feeling like, I was alone in the world. And I looked to my right, and I looked at this building, and it was 087. And I thought, oh my God, so that number has just come up everywhere I've traveled. If I've ever had that doubt, that's come up. And the next morning I woke up and I opened the window, and here I am in Brazil, and it was a bus with a kangaroo on it. And I'm thinking, I'm from bloody Tasmania, Australia, and I'm not living there now, but in Australia, and here's this kangaroo on a bus outside my bedroom window that I could see. And I thought, thank you. So it was like confirmation that I was okay and I was being looked after. So the things can be really profound, or small or whatever, just it could be a tiny little feather, but it really helps us, tap back into ourselves. It's like you said at the beginning, it was when we get up in our head, and the subconscious is there to protect us 95% of the time, and it sees problems and how to protect you. So it really is getting back into that heart space and just being authentic, and it will help you.
And I think when, at least for myself, I only can speak from like my experience, but like when I get too much into my head, like the ego likes to create stories.
Yeah. Yes.
The ego, oh, well, what about this? And what, and I say this because the little, I always talk about the little devil on the shoulder. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, what about this and what about that? It's like, it can literally drive you mad if you let it. So it's like, nah, sit down. Sit down, enough of you. But yeah, it's thank you for sharing that story, because even there's this concept of if you say you're healed, you're healed. And I believe that, but we're ever evolving.
Yeah.
And there's going to be times where these things happen, like throughout life. It's always going to be that way, because we have these things called memory, right? That we remember certain things. And so I think being open and transparent about that, I think, is so important, because there's a lot of this concept of spiritual bypassing, right? Like, let me just bypass the work. And it's like, you can't do that. We talked a little bit on this when we talked on the phone, and you talked about your course with the manifestation guide. So go into that and why it's so important that you don't bypass, that you actually do what you need to do, because there's no shortcuts to this. And there's so many things, there's so many tools that you have at your disposal that, you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, true. The manifestation flowchart course is an essential course. It starts at your core, because energy is everything. Energy is how we interact. We are beings of energy. We live on a learning planet. It's spinning, on this blue rock in the middle of our universe. So everything is energy. So if you don't change your energy, so the universe, the creator, can see to your soul, read your energy. That's your vibrational frequency is the signature that the universe reads. And so if you don't change that, then what you work on just reverts back to that same vibration. It doesn't stick. And like I said at the very beginning, I was trying to change myself because I was having a shit life experience. I wanted better life experiences, but if I kept doing the same, I was doing some work, but I was doing the same things. So nothing was shifting. So it took me a long time to start to really realize that I needed to have that integrity, walk the walk, talk the talk, and actually step into aligning with those life experiences. And I've had some bloody magical things happen. But if you don't shift the things that are underlying, then it doesn't stay. And so as you go through the modules of the course, you can't get into the first module and skip that and go into the second. You actually have to do them before you can go to the next module, because it needs to stick. You need to release and unpack and do that purge. With theta, I think theta healing was the thing that really, like, was the concrete for it all to stick together for me. It was knowing that I can remove blocks and patterns like that, conditioning, past lives, whatever it is, just with words. It doesn't come through me. It comes straight from the creator to the person. So it's not, it's the strength of that energy going, and it's not going through somebody else.
There is no separation.
No, there's not. And having that purge, I can remember writing, 15 years ago, 57,000 words, and I thought it was going to be the book. I have written a book, but it wasn't that. But it was me doing the big purge. It was writing out stuff and letting go. And there was days when I would just have to leave it. I'd cry, or I'd get angry, or, some emotion would come up and I just couldn't continue it, and I have to leave it for a couple of days and then go back. But it was this massive purge. And as I was doing it, I was started to get invited to speak at different places, to go to different festivals and speak. And so I had released enough and learnt enough then to be the teacher. But you can't be the teacher until you start removing and it starts working and you start finding that path for you. Otherwise, you just resort back to, that even people asking, when I used to do readings years ago, I stopped doing them because people kept asking me, when's the one coming? And I kept trying to help them. That's why I developed the manifestation flowchart course. I'm a manifestor magical oracle cards to teach them that if you don't let go of that, all of the stuff that happened and the conditioning and all the blocks and the patterns, then your vibration is going to attract that same sort of person towards you. Yeah. And I mean, I've been married a couple of times, so obviously relationships were on my learning list for this time on the planet. Yeah. But I've done enough. Well, I'm making sure I bloody don't do it next life. I'm not doing that again. I've released enough karma that, I get dharma now, so I'm glad about that.
I've been engaged twice. They call it engagement for a reason. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, okay, I don't, the thing is, you can sit back and you just learn to observe, right? And I think I've always been an observer. I just didn't really have that. It didn't click, but just knowing I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And just getting to a point where you're just not doing it. You make a choice. Love you as a person, but I'm going to release you to your greatest good. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it engagement, right? So you just change the minds. But you're absolutely right. If you're not doing the work and you're not stepping into it, half-assing it like I was doing early on, after my mom passed and in between that time until I really said I'm going to do the work, it was this half-assing nonsense. And I was attracting some doozies, let me tell you.
Yep. I can relate to that.
And now it's kind of like, I'm not really interested in attracting, but if it comes into my field, I guess it's meant to be, I guess. But it would definitely, it would be the new Jay. It's not the old Jamie who passed away. Yeah. That's sloughed away. I'm saying metaphorically and spiritually speaking, when you do the work, right, and you learn to love yourself and you really learn to get to know your true authenticity, and you're like, man, she's really cool. Okay. I know I deserve I deserve someone who is loving and patient and kind and understanding and has grace and knows how to really step into their divine masculine and lead.
Yep.
That's the prerequisite.
I've been single for such a long time, but I've been
Me too.
but it doesn't bother me. I really like it, and it's funny because I call them muggles. The muggles that aren't spiritual, and there's no right or wrong. I'm not thinking I'm better than them. That's not what I mean. But they sort of say, you know, oh, are you okay? Because they just can't fathom that I could feel content in my own self.
Yeah.
And I would love somebody if they matched, you know, the energy, if it was reciprocity and all the other things that I now know that I deserve. But I'm okay. I'm okay to see the world through Linda's eyes, and I don't not like myself. This is probably the most that I've liked myself and the best version of me. Other people have had a problem with my change over the years. I've gone from this to this, and they just have some sort of power over you that they like you in this particular box, the way that you were. But if they really got to know you at the soul level, because that's what we deal with now, we sort of, you know, I see your soul. And it's really like the depth of relationships, whether they just be, you know, friends or whatever, you want that depth. You want them to get you. You want it to be a solid and profound, you know, and we can't say that it's unconditional love, because relationships are transactional, you know, but it is you know, reciprocated energy that we're all looking for, but on the level that we're able to give. And that's going into your feminine energy. That's getting out of the masculine, which is hard for us for being single. Because we're the ones that the doers. We do all the time. And even when I was a single mum, I was doing, you know, that, and was in that masculine energy, which is the doer. So when we sit back into the receiving the feminine energy and that heart opening energy, that's something that I've had to work on.
Yeah. Oh gosh, me too. This whole year has been about, I just like when you fall out of alignment with folks, and you know, it's not that you don't, you know, you don't love them or whatever it may be. It's just that there just comes a time where it's like, I'm not going to take on the projection. I'm not going to deal with all of that. Like, I am the type of person that I see people's soul. I see their potential. I always have. And this has caused me a lot of suffering in my life. And I see their potential instead of seeing them for who they are when they tell you by what they say and things like this. And then it's, you know, things happen where it's, you know, they do something like the whole thing with trust, right? Like if you can't trust me, like you can't be in my orbit.
Yeah.
Because I can't take on, that is an energy I cannot take on, is that distrust. Like I just can't, especially when I've not given you a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's old stuff. It's their old stuff. And so, yeah, it's a tough thing. And it's not that you don't love people. It's just that, I mean, I do love people, but you start to get to a point where you make these boundaries and you're like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. We're not going to do that. And it really can cause that friction that you were talking about earlier, where it's like people are mad because your access has changed, right? Or you may have not brought them in the loop on something or whatever. And another thing that I've also learned is to keep my mouth shut about what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important. And I've learned that in this journey, but I mean, and so I've really tightened that up in the last, I'd say, month, the last month, because it's just like, you know what? I'm trying to step into my purpose. It's not all about me. It was all about me before.
Yeah.
And I did everything. You know, there's some things I still want to do. Absolutely. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to New Zealand. You know, I want to go to Tahiti and Fiji and all these places. But I've had a killer kick-ass life. I've traveled half the world. I was in the Air Force. I met some amazing folks that I'm still friends with today. I have friends scattered all over this world, and I'm so grateful for the lives that I've intersected in this journey. Like, that is so, it makes for such a great book, right? And it's been a very colorful life, and I'm just, now I'm stepping in, because it's like, okay, fine. Like, I thought I knew, but I guess I don't. And I just have to trust. And it's next level, man. Let me tell you, next level. Because it's like, it can be a little scary. And change is scary. Change is scary. And sometimes learning this whole thing with the generator or waiting to respond, that's tough. It really is tough to break through that conditioning, that programming, that I gotta be the go-getter, man. Planes, trains, and automobiles go 100 miles an hour, hair on fire. Let's go. That was not that that's not me, because I can be like that. But my soul likes, I like to just be. I can do that. And when I do that, I get into it. It's like, okay, let's go. But knowing the balance, there is a balance. And that's that whole mindfulness piece we talked about, the whole idea of being present and waiting and being open to to any and all things, any and all information, taking it back, sitting on it, cultivating patience, cultivating discernment, like all of these amazing attributes of, Jesus Christ when he walked the earth. Like, that's who he was. He embodied love, patience, kindness, understanding. And that's where we shoot for, is that love, because those are the highest vibrations. And when we're not in that, you can see the misalignment and what it causes. It causes a lot of suffering, not just for the person, but for other people that are maybe in the projection of that person. And sure, are we mirrors of each other? Absolutely. But the thing is, instead of being reactive, we ask ourselves, hey, why am I feeling this way? Where is this coming from? Why am I getting triggered by this? Is this something that I need to dig into? And just constantly being that I call it Inspector Gadget. Like, just be Inspector Gadget. Like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? Not all the time, but, asking yourself. And I think sometimes the most important thing is when someone comes into your orbit that isn't in the energy that you are, to not be reactive, because when you are not reactive and you're not giving away your energy can even affect that person to come up higher, because they're like, and this person's not reacting. Wow. And it's a fascinating thing when you don't match energy, how it just dissipates.
Well, being a reflector, I've I can see in my lifetime. I think when I found out that I was a reflector, it just all made sense. Human design is such an amazing.
I'm telling you,
It is.
accurate.
It was self-analysis. I'm really good at self-analysis. I've always have been. I'm really fair. I can see both sides of things, but I can see both sides of me as well. But knowing that I was a reflector, I mean, just knowing yourself, I think self-analysis tool and knowing yourself is so, so important for the work that you do internally. And when those people do drop away, that just happens because your vibration shifts and people and situations, but it's just allowing it. And I said to my daughter, maybe last year, the year before, I said, it's happening again. And she said, what? And I said, this person and this person have dropped away. They've lost trust in me, or, whatever. And there's not that blame thing happening anymore. When you do all that internal work, you don't blame. You just go, okay, the trigger, where is it in me? Theta healing is so like we just go straight to the bottom belief and get rid of it. But and I said to my daughter, there's another couple going, like I can feel them now leaving, and you get, and I still wish them, well. And when I see them, but I acknowledge that the vibration shifts, and it's nothing that I've thought of. It just happens, and people drop away, and it can be a little bit nostalgic sometimes when you stop and you think, I really like that person. I had so much fun. We went on holidays and we did stuff. But you know that it's time for the shift to happen, and you just have to let it. And it can be sad sometimes and not nostalgic, but you just send them love and put them up to the Creator, and the Creator takes care of them. And it's evolution.
Yeah, and that is like it's the most loving thing that you can do, because it's that old saying, if you love something, set it free, right? Because then you can let that soul, because at the heart of it, it's a soul, let them go and learn what they need to learn. And perhaps that's a catalyst. Maybe the loss is a catalyst for something, whatever it may be. So I always say I'm open. I don't I'm not saying I'll never say never. I don't do that, because I intersect with people. I've intersected with people that have been on their healing journey, and so I never say never. So I think it's the most loving thing to do, right? It's just, okay, go be on your way to your highest self, and heal, because that's really what it's all about.
True.
And it's like this pivot. It's kind of been, it's like, I feel like the last month and a half has just been this, like, where God's like, right? Like, and I just have to be okay with that. And I am okay with it. But it's sad at the same time. It does cause a little bit of that grieving feeling, right? And another thing is, like, you can't wake people up.
No.
They have to step into it. So we're not here to wake anyone up.
True.
We're just here to do our work and peel back the layers for ourselves and share that experience, right? That's what's so cool, is like people are really, they're like chomping at the bit to share their experience, which is so amazing to me. It's like, I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is so cool how it's like there's an activation that's occurred in those that are like doing the work, right? It's pretty cool to just see it and observe it and all of it. So I'm another thing, that's just like, it never ends, right? It's every day, it's something you just hear or you see, or like, I gotta tell you, I was kind of, I know it's something small, but I went to the grocery store, and something that I had on the belt was for my brother, and the person that the cashier was like, well, did you know XYZ and XYZ? And I'm like, oh, somebody's awake, and it's like so cool, like little
Yeah.
things like that. Or when people say, and you know that they're coming out of that illusion,
Yeah.
and it's so cool to observe. And, along with the travels I talked to you about earlier, how I've met the people that I've met along the way. It's like, wow. It's not by chance. It's like,
Oh, no.
so cool.
I
It's
know.
cool.
I met a girl in England. I think it was my first trip to England, maybe. And like I've said about the 7 and the 8, and she said something about that. I do have a tattoo that's the 7 and an 8. And she said, that's my PIN number. And I said, oh, was it your birthday? And she said, no, but it's all my PIN numbers. They're my favorite numbers. And so even different people have come all around the world, have come in with something that was similar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what that's, you just go, oh my God, like these people just come like, but then I realized one day that both my husbands had the same initials. And I thought, oh my God, how's that for repeating patterns?
Wow.
Yeah. So
isn't that interesting?
Sometimes you see the patterns and other times that you don't. But as a reflector, I have had the patterns shown to me always.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've noticed them and sometimes I haven't. Depends if I'm present or not. But there's always something that links you, and we're not that far removed.
No, not at all. And it's interesting that you say that. Like, I think people that there is this frequency, right, where people are sandwiched in between these two different realities. There's these people that are right here in the middle that are in this frequency that look around, observe, can see everything, and like are recognizing the patterns and are connecting the dots, and they're really like, they stand in their truth no matter what, and they don't let folks come in and gaslight them. It's such a powerful thing to really know your truth, because it's lived. It's not just theory, it's lived. No. You've experienced it, and it's like, so kudos to everybody in that, and they know who they are. They know who I'm talking to. So it's, life is, life is meant to be lived, right? And it's funny because when I got on your website, I did one of those cards, the card that you have on your website. And yes. And the one that came up was playful or playing or some
playfulness,
which
I
have.
Yeah. For you being an Aquarian, get out of your head and have some fun.
Yeah. Right. Isn't that crazy? I was like, ooh, that's stung. Like, oh, you're being what is it called? A stick in the mud? I don't want to be a stick in the mud. I'm like, I need to, I can be funny. So I'm like, maybe it's like, I think it's time that I need to just stop being so serious.
Had to be masculine for a while. That's all.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're doing everything and you're working.
It is.
And you cover everything. It really is. Yeah. But the playfulness thing is when we get stuck in our head, and that's when we're not moving forward. You go through an open door, and it's a block. Yeah. The best thing that you can do is stop thinking about it and go and have some fun. Like this Leo full moon is all, and Leos are about, having fun, relaxing, the mother laying down with her cubs and the father protecting, very playing, you can see the masculine and the feminine. But yeah, it's getting out of your head and stop being that block, because you're your own worst enemy when you're your own block. You've got to get out of your own way. And so as soon as you start having fun and playing, and however that shows up for you. I mean, I can put music on, or I put Abraham Hicks' Love Rampage on in the background,
Yeah.
Whatever, go down to the beach, out in nature, whatever, dance, sing, whatever it is for you, and you change and you get out of your head and back into that playfulness. And I think that makes you more open and vulnerable to receive as well, in a manifesting way.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record myself, do some stories, just recording myself, like singing along to music in the car. Like I got into singing when I was younger, and I lost my voice for a while, probably because of, whatever. So I know it was completely spiritual. That happens to people where they lose their voice. And I didn't sing for probably a good 7-year stretch. And so just now coming into it, and I can't sing like the songs I used to sing, because I can't sing as high anymore, but I have a good time, right? And I'm like, maybe I need to start going and just doing karaoke every now and again and having a good time, even if I go by my damn self.
Yeah, true.
And just have a good time, and that's the thing. Like I think in this journey, I'll tell you a real quick story. We're telling stories. There was this young woman that I met. I live not too far from here. There's like a little park, and it's like a little veterans park, and it's outside of the city hall. And she just came and we got to talk. I sat down, and she came, sat down, and we were talking, and she's like, have you ever just like held your inner child and given the love that your inner child didn't get when, because let's be honest, our parents, they had their programming and their conditioning, and they did the best they could.
And we're Gen Xers. And we're Gen Xers. We had to fix ourselves.
Yes. And so just giving that little, Jamie who needed, just give him a little bit of love. Right. And it's so true. Right. And it's so true to have fun. We're here to have fun too.
Yeah.
While we're doing the purpose, right. While we're fulfilling our purpose.
We need to have a light heart.
Yes. A light heart. And lose the density. Yes. And so it's like, that's interesting. So it's like confirmation that, do more of that. So, because that was one thing somebody said to me. I think it was like in December sometime, somebody said, you need to have some fun. And I'm like, what? What's that? Because I've just been, working, stripping things away. And it's like, you know what? This is so crazy that this is coming. Okay, I'll go ahead and try. And now it's like, you're on the right path. You're doing what you need to do. So it's good. Yeah.
Nice. I think that's what the snake year's been about. But it's been subtle. It's nothing really big. Like when I talk, it was funny because so the snake year was 2025, which is 9, and I am a 9 life path, and it was the wood snake, and I am a wood snake. So thank goodness I'd done the work, so the shifts for me weren't so monumental. It wasn't like a roller coaster with just small things.
Right.
But I ended up winning the Australian Spiritual Business of the Year. So. And I got to speak and MC another thing, and like things come up for me that were good. Like, so I can't look at it, even though that I'm not the same person as I was at the beginning of last year. And I know I'm not. I know that I'm still me, but I'm not. I've changed.
Yeah.
vibrationally. So as that's moved through that, you sort of, the snake year did it, but it did it in a subtle way to now when you look back, you think, wow, that happened. And it's just, I think that you're going to move forward into being the Aquarian you are, is to a much better 2026.
Oh, it's already better.
Yeah. And I really think that Leo and Aquarius are going to have a really magic year this year, and it's pretty cool. But I love that you've connected with your inner child. That's inner child work. Just again removes another layer of stuff. And I was a Gen Xer, and my mum and dad were tough. They were really tough.
Man. My father was a Marine.
Oh, well.
He was a bear. Okay. Yep. He was a tough cookie.
Yeah. Dad was a farmer. Mum and dad are farmers. So he managed farms, and Mum had 7 of us and cooked for the shearers and all the rest of it. But I think that I spent a lot of my young age not feeling like I was nurtured, nourished. It's this 7 years between me and the next 8 years between me and the next 6. And I was alone a lot, and up to my own devices to look after myself. And I really didn't as a child feel nourished, even though that I was in a big family. But when you're the youngest, the other ones used to just lock me away in my bedroom when Mum and Dad were out so they could do whatever with their boyfriends and girlfriends. My brother used to walk in and he would watch a music show, which is called Countdown, like 50 years ago. And he'd walk in, pick me up off the couch and throw me across the lounge room and turn the channel to watch Countdown. So Gen Xers had a different experience. We were
big time
when the lights got turned off. And I think the inner work, the inner child work that Gen Xers are doing are shifting so much stuff. And
big time.
And whatever work we do on ourselves affects 7 generations in the past and 7 generations in the future, says Vianna from Theta. So whatever inner work we do really shifts our family line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool if you think about it. Pretty cool. It's cool stuff.
It just shifts so much stuff for us. So it's beneficial for everybody to do that. And it's and having that small I always, when I do my theta, we go up into the 7th plane. But even before I did that, the little me is in my heart, and I can go there at any time I want and give her a good old cuddle and you connect into that young person but it's really your soul at a soul level that you're doing that with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool, this work. There's so many things, right? There's so many things to learn, and you just have to be open to it. And I think the thing is when you realize that everything we've learned, we've been taught.
Yeah. The conditioning.
So we have to question all of that. And I know for some folks that's harder than others. And that's why it's such a unique journey. And that's why this podcast exists, because people can come on and tell their stories. And there's not ever going to be one story that's the same. No. Or no 2 stories are the same.
No.
And there's different paths, right? It's it's amazing. It's so fascinating to me. I love it. I love this. I love to speak with people and hear their story. I love it. It's amazing.
Certainly
it really is. Yeah. So I have, I just can't even tell you. This is so exciting to have you on, and I definitely want to have you on again.
Oh,
Anytime
please.
you want to come.
Yep.
So I know you were talking about, like, are you not doing readings anymore?
Oh, every now and again on my Facebook page, I'll put up where my readings, but I have sessions. So every now and again, when I've got some free time, I put on my Facebook page. I'm a manifestor, Linda Willow Roberts Facebook page.
Yeah.
I put on there. I've got a couple of appointments available because I've got some free time.
Yeah.
But I have sessions on my website. So I have spiritual development sessions, I have manifestation sessions, and I have theta sessions, which is an amazing tool to have to use. So you just, the releasing blocks and the patterns and the conditioning are just done with words from the creator. The creator goes straight to the bottom belief, and we remove that. We do a little bit of digging, and it just is instant healing. I have a free 5-day reset on my website. I have the manifestation flowchart course. What you put into that is what you get out of it. You've got it for life. You can redo it again. It resets.
Wow.
Redo it again, and it is an ascension course. I've got my book, 7/8 of Me, A Tale of a Spiritual Adventurer. And I'm a manifestor, magical oracle cards. Would you like me to draw a card for you?
Oh, my God, please do.
Okay. I had them sitting
I love it.
I'm going to put a card just to see what you, Jay, so I'm going to remove my energy from the cards.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask.
Okay. I got a dachshund issue here. Hold on 1 sec here.
Okay. Will we pull a card or keep shuffling? I'll keep shuffling. So, yeah, they're all available at lindawillowroberts.com.au. So you can go over any time that you want and flip a free card. Enjoy this Leo full moon. It is such a beautiful energy, and it's an expansive energy. It's like, it's creative, expansive. It's whatever you want it to be. And I think Leo, coming from the heart, really
Thank you.
Supports
Sorry
everybody.
about that.
It's all right. I was talking. Jay, so I've removed my energy for the cards, and I'm asking the creator, what does Jay need to know for her highest good for this Leo full moon? It came out before, and I put it back in, and I thought I'm going to keep shuffling. This is the surroundings card. So everybody's there. They're sitting around a fire with guitars and a dog and the kids, and it's surrounded by surroundings. Is all of your surroundings is what you are. So internally, it shows up externally. And this is unconditional love. This is support. This is people there celebrating your wins, helping you, really championing you and encouraging you for your highest good. So you have that around you.
I love that.
That is just beautiful. I
love that.
Yeah. They're all just sitting around enjoying life and being their authentic selves, organically having a lovely time with you.
I love that.
That's great, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing. So, Linda, where can people follow you on social media? And then also give a shout out for your website. Also, the website is located in the podcast description, everyone. I've put that in there so you can get to everything from there, because your social media is on your website as well.
So my website is lindawillowroberts.com.au. Down the bottom, up the top, you've got a menu. You can go into the courses, the products, the resources. There's resources on there that you can read. And down the bottom, at the bottom of the page, is my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages. But on Facebook, I'm a manifestor, Linda Willow Roberts. And on TikTok, I'm Linda Willow Roberts. And on Instagram, I think I'm Roberts Linda. Or I can't remember now. But it's at the bottom of my website anyway. Thank you, Jay, for having me. I've absolutely loved talking to you.
I love talking to you, and we are going to get you back. I want to get you on the books. So after I get done here and deal with this little, so let me show you my 4-legged child. Come here.
Yes, please.
Now, so have you, this is a dog. This is my little weenie.
And what's his name?
His name is Archie Lou.
Oh, hello, Archie Lou.
He is a pain
He's
in
like,
the ass sometimes.
I don't even want to look at you. I'm not looking. I'm not. Hey, Archie, I can
What do
still
you?
see you. You know, I'm an animal whisperer as well.
Are you really?
Yeah, I can talk to
Yeah.
animals.
Come here. You want to talk to Linda?
I've never been trained in it though, but I have been able to do that. I like looking at what they were if they were humans.
Mm-hmm.
Very shy. I can see you looking at me. I can see you. I can see you.
Ooh.
All I can get is I wanted to be a dash hound.
Right. He is my buddy. He's been with me on all of that travel back and forth. He's my little travel buddy. Him and I have been attached at the hip. He's the best. He came to me, I heaven sent, honest to God, because it was 6 months after I had to put my other dog down.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not ready. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't matter that you're not ready. Like, he's ready. Let's go. What? Are you being mischievous?
They're just like kids. When you're on the phone, they want your attention. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he knows it's almost dinner time, too. He's not dumb. He wants his food.
Of course. I only have a grandpup. He's a border collie, and he's just beautiful. He comes to nannies, and when there's a storm, because I live in Queensland, which is subtropical, so we can get some pretty bad lightning storms. And when they used to live near, I'd go and pick him up and bring him here, and I'd sing him a song, and I'd hold his paw. He'd put his paw in my hand, and I'd sing him a song just to calm him down from the storm. But yeah, he's got a special place in my heart.
Oh, animals. I'm a dog lover. I like cats too, but he's like, I don't know how to explain it. He keeps me on my toes. He's definitely one of my little guides, we'll say, but he keeps me on the straight and narrow, which is good. But yeah, he's a trip, that one.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed thoroughly talking to you.
I have too, and I'd like to have you back on to talk about like the manifestation, like what that looks like and all of that. I think that would be cool to have you on again and do that. So I'll reach out and we'll get you on the books for that. But I thank you so. What time is it there in Australia?
11:20 a.m.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow. And it is 5:21 here.
I went down to the beach about 7 o'clock and had a swim.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice right there in the you guys are, is that the Pacific? Yeah.
Yeah. So the beach is about a 4 or 5 minute drive from me. So I like going early in the morning.
I'm telling you, Australia is on my bucket list. I so want to go.
It's beautiful. It just, if you get a chance to go, and like I'm in Queensland now, go to Tasmania. Like it's only a 50-minute flight from Melbourne, but Tasmania is just beautiful. But you have to go, like, depends what weather that you are okay with, but it's beautiful in the winter and it's beautiful in the summer. But we can get down there, we can get four seasons in one day. But yeah,
wow.
Tasmania. I love the east coast of Australia and Tasmania.
So is Tasmania, is it mountainous?
Yeah. But not so, like we have one skiing mountain, which is Ben Lomond, and that's a bit hit and miss. That's about an hour from Launceston, which is north of the state. And so, that's a bit hit and miss, although they have been getting a lot more snow lately. And they've been getting down there the Southern Aurora. So, and we've never, the Southern Lights, and it's only just started. Everybody gets excited, and I do. I've been to the Northern Lights, I've been to Iceland, but everybody's so excited that we're starting to have really, really good auroras in Tassie, but that means that the electromagnetic field and the sun's solar flares are hitting us harder and harder. And so,
so you're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, so that I don't get. So I think I've seen them once here in Queensland, but they'll get them in Tassie and Victoria and Adelaide. But that's, every now and again it comes further up Australia. But that Tasmania never used to get the aurora, but they're getting it all the time now with the solar flares. So that just tells you how strong the solar flares are and what they're doing to the electromagnetic field around the Earth. So yeah.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
And have you been to New Zealand as well?
Yeah, I went to the North Island. I did five shows in the North Island of New Zealand, and that's beautiful. The Bay of Plenty, which is up the top of the North Island, is beautiful. Rotorua is where it smells like rotten eggs because of the sulphur, and we went to the spa there, but it smells like rotten eggs. Auckland's beautiful. So, it's really nice. Yeah.
I was in the Air Force with someone who was dating someone from New Zealand. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think the South Island is more skiing and mountains and stuff like that. But they also Christchurch gets a lot of earthquakes. And there's a volcano.
Do they really?
Yeah, they get a lot of earthquakes.
And now is Christchurch is kind of like more hilly, is from what I understand, right? Not as mountainous as the mountains.
Yeah, I think when you go down to, I can't even remember it. I had a friend's daughter live there, Wanaka. At Wanaka, which is on the South Island,
right?
Near there is the snow resort and the snowfields. Yeah, near Wanaka. Yeah.
Super cool.
We call New Zealand.
I just think it's such a beautiful, like the pictures. Gorgeous.
We call they're over the ditch from us, so that's what they call us. That New Zealanders say that we're over the ditch from them. So, very, very close.
So cool. Yeah, I definitely want to get over to that part of the world. Someday, I would like to do all of that. Go to Bali and, all up in there.
I've never wanted to go to Bali.
Really?
No, but I've been to Portland. I had my book launch with Hay House Live at Portland. Yeah. But I've never really ever wanted to go to Bali. I went to Kuala Lumpur once and I went, never really wanted to go to Bali.
You're like, I'm all set.
I think I would like to go to Cambodia. That I would like to see Angkor Wat and go to Cambodia. I think that's because I always go to sacred sites.
Yeah. Angkor Wat. You said Angkor Wat?
Yeah, in Cambodia. Yeah. I'd love to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that's really cool. And and Thailand, all of those places over there. I want to do all of that. So we'll see what happens. You never know. You never know. All right, love. Thank you, Linda, so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And we are going to get you on here. I'd like to see you on here regularly because
I would love that.
I would love that. I really would. So
let's do that.
If whoever's listening to the podcast, just drop comments in the comment section. I think this would be amazing to have this on a regular. It really would.
Yeah. Let us know. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely let us know. Give us some feedback.
Please. Or what you want to talk about.
Exactly. What do you want to know? Right. Yeah. There's so much to know. Like, what do you want to know about? That's a good question. Yeah, just drop it in the comments and then I'll loop back around and check it out. Yeah. I got to get my lighting situated because once the sun goes down here, starts to get dark and I'm not noticing this. So I'm taking into consideration this, that I'm going to have to figure something out with the lighting at this desk. So yeah.
Okay.
How's that for being in the present?
Well, I didn't notice the light change, but yeah, I'm sitting with the blind open. But what you're not seeing, I'm sitting here in shorts, but the aircon's off and I'm sweating profusely, and it's probably 31 degrees. Well, we have degrees, and I'm like, at one stage I thought my eyelashes are even sweating.
Right. I know, it's funny that you say that, because this is a sweater and I'm starting to sweat, and it's like, what's the temp here? The temp here in Portland area. Now I live in Happy Valley, which is south of Portland, and we're a little bit up on elevation here. Huh?
I've been to Happy Valley. I'm pretty sure I have.
Oh my God. Cool. 52. So it is warm. It's warmer today.
5:25 taken.
Yeah, okay. And it's 5:40. It's 5:30, and we have another rainstorm coming in 15 minutes.
Okay, get yourself organized then.
My goodness. 'Tis the season, right?
We have cyclones and things, but they never really come here. But when we get a storm, I'm always out there getting lightning shots. Holly messages me. Holly's my daughter. Holly messages me and says, like, she's 6 hours south of me, and she'll see the radar and she'll say, "Mummy, you're not outside, are you?" "No, Holly."
No, not at all. I know. I like the weather. I like to get shots of that. I think it's so cool.
It is.
When you see things coming in. I was up on Mount Hood, and there was this storm. Like, all of a sudden, it was a squall. It just came in out of nowhere, and it was like literally just a downpour. It wasn't snow, but it was like just a downpour, and that was like about a year ago. So and I saw it coming in, and I'm like, these would be amazing shots. So I pull over and I'm like, shh, shh, shh. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And we also had the Aurora Borealis here too, the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Well, you had the Southern, but we had the Northern, and that was really cool too, to see that.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, you had to get where it was really dark, where you didn't have a lot of light outside, and it was just so pretty.
I love the crackle that they make. When I was in Iceland, you could actually hear the psst.
Really?
You could hear it sort of is a crackle, but it's electrifying sort of thing, and it has its own vibration. It's just amazing.
So I heard that Iceland is probably the best place to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I didn't see them in Norway. But Iceland, we got some Northern Lights that were just absolutely gobsmackingly beautiful.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I've got one of the pictures of me is up on the wall. You can only see me in the picture because I've got a white beanie on, but in the background is the Northern Lights. And the guide said to me, "Turn around, Linda," as he took the picture, and he said, "Turn around, Linda," and I did. And there was a heart in the green lights, and he said, "I've been doing this for a long time. I've never seen that." And he said, "Look at that heart," and it was So I've got
that. Interesting?
Yeah, green for heart chakra, and it was up in there. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, so cool. I've got this little green, it's glass. It's not real. I wish it was real. Can you imagine?
Lovely, beautiful. Anyway, we better go because we keep saying we're going.
I know. We're just hanging on. I love it. So until next time, and we'll figure it out. But we're going to get you on regular. I think it would be an amazing thing.
That'd be wonderful. Love chatting.
Love chatting with you, honey. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode here on Harness the Shift. I'd like to thank my guests for sharing their insight, wisdom, and evolution with us. If you're interested in my offerings, exploring your human design, understanding your energetic blueprint, or aligning your leadership and team with purpose, reach out through the central hub located in the link in my bio, or contact me directly on the WhatsApp. You can listen to this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to follow me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, at Harness the Shift with Jay. Also, my long-form writings on Substack at Harness the Shift with Jay. Receive what resonates, reflect on it, discern from it, and integrate what serves you. Stay present, stay aligned, and keep evolving. My name is Jay. I'm your host. And until next time, keep harnessing the shift.